Kakum Shamahim, Tayod Rash Hay. This is Gabriel and Icon, owner and chairman of the Canfit Global Consulting, the charity for medical, pharmaceutical, and innovative technology, biotech, the charity for the medicine of the future and the future of medicine. I always say the same thing. One day, this will come true and will help people around the world to maintain a better health and to be more connected to God. You know, the purpose of my mission as a simple human being, a citizen, a first citizen of the heaven, is to make sure that people reconnect with God the way that God designed it. Now, I hear many folks who speak. They speak, but I never declare myself as a prophet or a child of God. But now I'm saying to you, Jesus Christ is speaking in me. My thoughts are not truly my thought. They are Jesus Christ's thought. He's using a technology that is more advanced than the one that the world knows to infiltrate our thought into our mind. So it comes from the super-minded technological structure, spiritual structure of the heaven into our subconscious. So from the super consciousness into our subconscious, and from our subconscious it gets into our conscience. You know, so those are the stage in which it goes. Now, before I continue for this week, very important messages that I have from the heaven, and it is very amazing, you know, that people are always coming against me. They want to destroy me. I just wonder, what are they looking for? What do they want? You know, I was running today. I went to the gym and I saw a guy coming in and like, oh, you know, this guy is over. You know, we know that he have some medical condition because of what they tell us. And I was just saying, all right, let's see. You know, you think that you created the man? Lucifer go before God and ask, God, I wanted to test this boy called Gabriel. Like, and you think he's stronger? God said, go ahead and test him. It was 3 years ago that an angel was sent by God, by Jesus Christ, to come and massage my legs. He massaged my legs. So, and he said to Lucifer, then go ahead and make him disabled. Like you say, you want to make him disabled. If you guys make this leg of mine disabled, maybe my God is not the true God. I give you bet. You know, it was, I mean, the guy came, he did the massage. I mean, he was a very, I know, for some reason, he was a very powerful angel. And it happened, I remember it happened 3 years ago. Yeah. So, try something better. This is not God's will. Okay? It's not God's will. It is your will. It's not God's will. The point that I'm making here is that people don't have trust in God. They don't believe that God can do things. They believe that this earth is everything, and what we see is what we have. We have control of everything. We have control of nothing. Through God intuition to me and education to me, every single thing that exists in this earth have a spiritual part attached to it. Everything have a spiritual part. Everything. Everything have a spiritual part. It means that without a spiritual structure, the physical cannot exist, cannot hold, cannot stand. You know, today we can explain the system biology, how it functions. But proteins, the body is only making the main aim, the main aim of our body is to make proteins. Because proteins, you have many kind, you have enzyme, many, that function in our body. And protein pretty much do most of the work in our body. So my question that I always ask to people is that if protein have to be an initiator of many of the things that happen in our body, how do those proteins get made if our body have to make protein in order to function? It means that those proteins were put in there before the system even started. You have protein all over the place. They are called different names, but they are protein and they are made by the body. And they are made specifically for the function. It's like a company that make a hammer, a company that make a saw, country that make a nail. That's how those proteins are made, with precision. The protein just look like form of a saw. That's what you do, just cut things. You tell me how a random phenomenon can make such random precision choice, so many, with no error. Nah, there's an intelligence that started all this, and that intelligence have a super mind, and his name is God Elohim. Now, through his chosen son Jesus Christ, we have seen the life of light and love, that because of God's love we are existing, still alive. I can even tell you that because of the love of God, Lucifer even exists as well. As I told him that, if God didn't have any love, he should be destroyed, should be not giving a chance to prove himself. Even though that as a consequence of that, he still worked for God. I told him, he still worked for God. The point is, he denied that. And I asked him a simple question. Is that true that you have to go before my creator to ask for permission? He could not answer that and disappear, because that's true. Now I speak in tongues like Jesus Christ speak. And when he speak with you, he asks you a question. He answers your question with a question, so that you can think about it. Say that this boy is so clever. Okay? He still work for God. So God have control over him. He have control over us. Our money, our power, our position, everything we have. Now, I have a message for our Jew people of the world. But before I further ado in this week address, I wanted to say that it is very crucial that people start considering what I've been saying, because all of those will come to pass. All of those will come to pass. That is why today's presentation title will be Message from Jesus. Do America get it? For prosperity. How can we find peace in a mix of everything? You know, many people, they can claim that I know God. God speak to me, or God spoke to me. Everybody come in there and say all these things. I'm not to judge, and I'm not judging. I'm just speaking the truth. Now those people come, people who truly speak to God, speak to Jesus Christ. They are very, they don't come and say, God spoke to me. They tell you the story on how they meet Jesus Christ, how they hear the voice of God. They give the story. You see, when you listen to a minister like Sadhu Sundar, he tell you, I was praying, and suddenly a man show up, and he presented himself as John, and he said, I wanted to explain to you the revelation that you're reading, and he explained to you what really happened. So he doesn't have to say to you, he spoke to me, then you know already yourself. See, when people will declare things that are not true, there has been too many times that I have invited Jesus Christ's Spirit to be with me, but I never truly spoke that until he said, oh, it's all right, you have to say that. Because it is part of God's work. People must be able to invite Jesus Christ in their own home. If people who worship the devil can do that with him, why not us who claim to be the follower of Christ? Why not us? We can do that. But I am here today to tell you this. The power of God do not reside on anything outside of this body, this holy body. You cannot find the power of God in anything outside of this body. The power of God is found inside this holy body. That's the reason why the Bible, Jesus Christ say, your body is a holy temple. Many people go and look for the power outside. I can assure you today that many of you can pray, but when I pray, it go fast, and God answer that fast as He can, because I have built the power that He gave all of us. That power, when you are born, that power is dormant. Now it is up to us to revitalize that power from within. When you revitalize that power from within, all the structure from the spiritual level of your body into the soul, into your human flesh, start functioning, start vibrating, and then the connection recalibrate with the heaven. And your heavenly portal that is in your head open wider, and you start listening clearly, and your spiritual senses start opening one by one. It is how it was designed. It is how it is designed, and it is how it will be designed when Jesus Christ returns officially on earth. At this point, Jesus Christ come in this earth and you respect every single person sovereign will. It doesn't come like people believe he have to come. He come invited by those who know him, who know his voice, who know that he's there, and he visits people. It is hard for certain people to believe that because they say, oh, well, Jesus Christ have to come from the sky. Unofficially, every single one of us have to pray and invite him in our houses. If the president pray in a White House, in a hotel, and he have built the power that is inside of him and be persistent and perseverant, Jesus Christ will show up in that area, in that house, in that room that he's in, specifically. That have nothing to do with his second return. That have to do with him walking the same way he was walking after he resurrected, visiting people. He did it for 40 days. See, Jesus Christ went to the desert for 40 days. After the desert, he got baptized. After he got in the desert, he got the spiritual baptism. Heart cleansed. Now, 40 days in the desert, he did 40 days of preaching the gospel before he got killed. So 40 days in the desert, 40 days of teaching. Now, after he got killed, he resurrected, he did another 40 days. So you see, that is 120 days. Very precise numbers. And 120 days give you exactly in numerology, it gives you three. Three, which is equal to what? Divinity. Holy Trinity. Birth. Life. That's what it is. And it's actually equal to the number of followers he had. 12. So, you have to know that Jesus Christ is doing exactly how he teach people. People open the Bible, they don't even understand. Invite him in your house. The revelation will come to pass. Today I will prove to you why Jesus Christ, he is the Son of God. I will use scientific proof as well as biblical sources, so people will know that Jesus Christ is truly, even to the Israelite, even to the Jew. I'll tell you what Jesus Christ told me. To what I already know, he confirmed it, because you have to work hard. It is not so easy, these things. You have to work hard and look and understand things, because God wants you to grow. Not like a fast things, but with a good foundation. Okay, so that's what it is. I'll explain to you the truth that the Jew and the Israelite are missing. That understand that the Messiah is Jesus Christ, and the one that you guys are waiting for, either in Islam or in Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ gonna return, everybody will be able to see him around the world. It will take Jesus Christ about 24 hours to be seen all over the world. I mean, every single person will see him. You guys are claiming that Jesus Christ will return. Every single person will see him. It will be like this. you have your you have your for the time he will allow it to function, because when he gonna come, I'm sorry to inform you, many satellite and many communication will be cut off. They will do it. God will do it. The point is, faith gonna have to act on people to believe in what they believe, and those who don't believe to believe in what they believe. But for the time when he will be coming, people will see him. Every single person in all corners of the world, they will see him coming. I have said to people that I don't think that before I even listened to Sadhu Sundar, I don't think that, like I confirmed that Jesus Christ said to me that he will return before my end time in this earth. And I said, well, I might just live longer then. Well, and Sadhu Sundar, Jesus Christ will never give the time. But according to his experience and his friendship with Jesus Christ, like I am too, he gave a max of 50 years. He said we don't have 50 years. He will return within those 50 years from now. So, and he come back to one. When you look my time, when Jesus Christ said, I will return before your end time, yeah, even if you give 50 years to my age right now, I will be around 80 something. 80 something. Close to going to 90. So, it is true. The reason why Jesus Christ don't speak the time, because he doesn't know the exact time himself. The reason why he doesn't, because he have agreed with God that he would not know the time. But he know when it will be. When I say when, I mean the period in which it will be. That is called someone who respect God, who understand the power of the Father. Because the Father gave him a choice. Do you want to know the time? Or you don't want to know the time? I prefer that you don't know the time. He agreed that I don't want to know the time. See, the point is, you have to understand that God knows that Jesus Christ loves us. So he knows that because Jesus Christ loves us, he will say that to some of us the time, because he loves us. So God knows the Son. He knows the Holy Spirit. He knows everything around because of the love of Christ for us. The point is, things gonna go fast. Now, there is a secret research that are sponsors by Google. They want to create a technology that will make human beings to live forever on Earth. It is a $1 billion research in the United States. This is a true thing. The revelation that Jesus Christ spoke about in the Bible is start unfolding. When you start seeing things like that, you have to know this is not way, yeah, we're going forward in life. No. This is getting closer and closer, because this is Luciferic plans. Luciferic plans, he wants men to enjoy earth. He's saying to men, God sent you here. This is what you get. You don't get anything else. So you can make this earth your paradise. Because he will be more flattered to have an earth like paradise. So he can be a God. He can be a God in his own way. Like God above. So earth is a paradise. He's good. So they start investing $1 billion for research into how a human being can live forever. And according to Jesus Christ, they will come up with a microchip that will be integrated into human cell and change the coding. When it changes the coding, they will not die. And what's gonna happen for them? It is exactly what happened when Moses came from the Mount Sinai and he said to people who are with me, if you are not with me, go with them. If you are with me, come in my side. When he said that, the earth opened in two, and all of those people against Moses went down alive. They went down alive in hell. It is exactly what Jesus Christ is talking about. Those people is a trap. Because no one need to be alive on earth when Jesus Christ returns, because it will be muddy. It will be crazy. So it will be a trap that they will endure what they have to endure. If you change the code to live forever, it's a trap, because you will not be able to be part of the rapture, where your spirit have to separate from your soul have to separate from you. So your soul will be forced to stay in you, even if your spirit have to go back to God. But you stay alive. And you'll be doomed in hell with a flesh. The same thing that happened to the people of Moses, that's what's gonna happen. So now, they are talking about creating, there's another research. Things are unfolding. Another research, they want to build a network using thought. It means talking in thought. That is the kind of technology that exists in heaven, in the spiritual world. Now, speaking in thought, you can imagine when Jesus Christ will come back, he will be talking about speaking in thought, and men gonna say, well, we do the same thing. You can speak in thought. So what will make you distinguish the true prophet from the false one? So things are unfolding as I speak now. Those research are already in place in the United States, and they are all sponsored in the United States. The point is, we have to be careful of what we seek for if God is not part of the equation. The finest technology with bold comparison is in heaven. Okay? It's in heaven. Yes, America, on earth dimension, we have one of the finest technology. But when it comes to the highest of the highest, you can only see those in heaven. Now, before further ado, I want to say something funny. I was running today before I introduce the real things. I run today, I'm running, and I'm running. And I'm thinking maybe I can be a physical trainer to the president, because he likes challenges, And I say, I'm a challenge guy. I don't give up, and maybe you know you run maybe 3 miles, you can run maybe three, that's fine, to be consistent in his exercise. Consistency. Now you have a guy close to me running, thinking that he will make me know that maybe I don't gonna run more than a mile. And say I don't do like that. When I wake up in the morning, when I wake up and I get off my bed, you have to know I will get things done. God make me wake up from my bed, I will get things done. Okay? That's what it is. I get things done. I don't stay around and do nothing. And I knew he gonna get tired and go. And he left. Probably looking at me like I was a monster. So I'm not a monster. I don't have any power. My power comes from above. It comes from Jesus Christ. Now, let me introduce the truth about who Jesus Christ is. Now, there are research that have proven already. They have found the blood of Christ in a covenant. They have found the blood of Christ in a covenant, in the Ark of the Covenant in Israel. See, God have planned everything so that you have no idea, my friend. It's just amazing when you have faith. You believe a thing ahead of time so that by looking in reverse, it will make sense to you. Everyone who want to walk with God have to walk with faith, because faith is exactly what I just defined. Believing in things in advance so that by looking back, it will make sense. That is how you can, that's the only way you can possibly understand God, walking by faith. This is one thing Jesus Christ wants me to say to human beings. The only way to understand God is to walk by faith. Because the true definition of faith is believing in things ahead of time so that by looking in reverse, it makes sense. Why? Because God already ordained and arranged everything. The way it happened is the way it was programmed to happen. Why do I'm saying all of this? Now, when Jesus Christ was crucified on a tree, many people are saying that, what is the cross? Let me give you the true definition of the cross. The cross is the true fundamental of creation from the beginning. Jesus Christ just came in place at a time designed to reveal the cross to human beings. It was already in place, but he came to reveal it. When you look the position of the heaven star, it means the dimension of light, because there are dimensions here. There are dimension of darkness, dimension of light, and the dimension of space. Okay, you have to know that. So in the midst of darkness, the kingdom of God, the dimension of light, the kingdom of light came. So when you look around, the dimension of light is darkness. Now, between the kingdom of light and the creation of God, the space, you see darkness after that. Nothing else. So, for pastors, for rabbi, for imam, for priests, and any religious individual, this is what I want you to know. The kingdom of God, it means the dimension of light propagate through its creation in a structure of the cross. It means the kingdom of God move around this creation in a structure of the cross. It means the light move in the structure of the cross. Always. When you see it, that's how it moves. It means even when you see how the heaven moves, the kingdom of light move around his creation, it moves in a structure of light across his creation. There is something with that structure of cross. There's a power in it. So Jesus Christ came to reveal in man what the cross truly is. The trust even in creation is what connects you to the heaven. It is what connects you to the heaven. And Jesus Christ came to reveal us that. So when Jesus Christ came and said to you, I am the truth, the way, and the life, is actually revealing what was already in existence. So no one come to me, no one come to the Father, the Father, except through me, because the cross was even the way to heaven. But because of the early disconnect, Jesus Christ came to reveal. He came to reveal. That is the truth. When Ponce Pilate asked Jesus Christ, what is the truth? He looked up. He looked up because he was the revelation of the truth. He is the revelation of the truth. That is the reason why the book that reveals his return, second return, is called Revelation. Because when he comes back, it will be the revelation of the truth, truly. Because many people don't believe in him now. But when he comes back, many will believe him. Those who are going to stay in this earth, all of them will believe in Jesus Christ. Every single person. Those who are going to stay. Not those who are going to decide by themselves to go to hell because they will believe that they're powerful enough, they can live here longer, they can communicate by thought, so they don't need God to interfere with the business. Those are the people who are going to go down. Those are the kind of people. And you'll be surprised. Many of our fellow citizens believe just like that. Trust me, my friend. Trust me. Trust me. You know, so that's what it is. Many of our fellow citizens believe just like that. They just believe like that. And it's so funny. It is very true that God exists. When Jesus Christ died, to verify his death, a soldier, a Roman soldier, pierced his right side above his limbs just to make sure that he truly died. So when he did it, the blood of Jesus Christ flowed from here into the ground. And as he was dying, the earthquake happened. And when the earthquake happened, his blood went inside the ground and hit the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, God is so amazing in his plans that you have no idea. So that's what the Jew have to look at this. 600 years before Jesus Christ's crucifixion, the Babylonians invaded Israel. Those are the time where Daniel, the young Daniel, and other Israelites were taken away from Israel to go serve the king. So during that time, the higher elite of Israel went and hide. They went and hide the Ark of the Covenant in that mountain, in a cave. And they hide it exactly where Jesus Christ will be crucified. Do you understand this truth? So they went and hide it 600 years before the crucifixion. Exactly. It means when you look where the Ark of the Covenant is, you look up, you put only a vertical line, is exactly where they put the cross of Jesus Christ, just above it, with precision. You tell me if God don't exist. That is not a random phenomena. That is something prepared from above, and God is guiding things with his thought and everything. I mean, come on. Everything was already plain. How could you imagine that just above where Jesus Christ was crucified, the Ark of the Covenant was just below? I believe they talk about 12, it was 12 meters below. 12 meters, something like that. So when the earthquake happened, that blood went down, and that blood hit exactly the surface, not the side, not the ground, just in the middle of the ark. Now, what do the ark signify to humankind? The Ark of the Covenant was a symbolic holy place of the heaven of God, residence. I told you before that when you go to heaven, there is a place where the blood of Christ is coming deeper. It coming every single time that we sin, that blood come out as a satisfaction to the Father. Many people, religious people, call it they have a name that they say for it. They call it as a sanctified way of satisfying the wrath of God, so that God deviated his wrath because of the satisfaction he got from the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So when that blood hit the Ark of the Covenant, it was actually a sacrificial ritual already right there. So spiritually, that blood got transcended into the heaven. And that's what you see when you go over there, that blood that you see. So you see, and that phenomenon happened during the Passover. The Passover is where the Jew do sacrificial ritual to God by killing a clean animal as a sacrifice to the Father. But at the same time, Jesus Christ died and his blood leaned into the Ark of the Covenant. What did I say to my brother Jews? That was your celebration right there. That was the truth. God didn't need that anymore. He didn't need that form of sacrifice anymore. That was the new way, the way of Jesus Christ. That sacrifice was what God wanted to redeem all men from the sin. Past, present, and future. That is the truth. Because the Ark of the Covenant represents God's place. So in order for the spiritual to manifest, a physical phenomena have to happen. So in order for the blood to be sacrificed to God, it must happen naturally. In order for the spiritual to take place. So that's why you have that phenomenon, that thing that God arranged naturally. That you cannot truly say, well, he fabricated this, but it happened naturally. Super intelligence. So he's saying to our brother Jew, your celebration was what was. Now you have a new one. I am satisfied with the blood of my chosen son, Jesus Christ. In this ark, his blood is there in a cave. They call it the propitiation. The propitiation, like somebody explained, the propitiation is the deviation of the wrath of God upon satisfaction. So God deviated his wrath against us because he was satisfied by the gift that Christ gave to him, his blood. That's what they call propitiation. During the festivity that commemorate the liberation of the Jews from Egypt, they sacrificed animal and they gave it to God. God said that was the old. It's still what I said to you, but it is not the new. The new is Christ, and he did it unnoticed. Nobody knew. But it was so important for the spiritual because when that blood hit the surface of the Ark of the Covenant, everything have a spiritual nature. That blood was brought into heaven. And that's what you have there. When you go, that's the blood you see. Now, on earth, that blood is already dry, very dry. So some scientists got part of the blood to analyze it. They got part of that blood. They were able to find. They got part of the blood. You know, people, they were just curious. They say, okay, this is where they crucified Jesus Christ. Let's look below that. Maybe we can find something. And they find. God planned. He already arranged. And then he said, oh, they're going to find it. The sacrifice. So the festivity that the Jews are celebrating was actually what was happening on the cross. And my brother Jew even have to remember, what do God have an earthquake when you actually did something for him? You sacrifice animal for him, you mean God didn't really care about it. He cared about the truth. Jesus Christ and the sacrifice he made, that's the new one. Now, scientists got the blood of Christ. They analyze it. Stunning. Stunning. And God revealed something to me as well in Jesus Christ about this to scientists. When they analyze the blood, They found out that Jesus Christ have every cell in Jesus Christ's blood have only 24 chromosomes. 24 chromosomes, only 24 chromosomes. Every single of our cell have 46. Every single one have 46. But Jesus Christ was not looking like an alien. He was looking like us as a human being. It tells me something. God who created us have many ways of creating human beings. But out of those many ways, when I say many ways, it means the genomic arrangement can be different, but the language have to be the same. It means the syntax, the genetic syntax can be different, but the semantic have to be the same. That is one thing that the heaven revealed to me. Something that scientists don't know. The syntax can be different, but the semantic of that genetic syntax, it means the genetic syntax can be different, but the genetic semantic have to be the same to have a human being look the same. I mean, Jesus Christ was a human being, but his genetic syntax was different than us. But the genetic semantic was the same. That's the reason why he was looking at us, because he could not look like us if the semantic was different. The semantic have to be the same. I mean, the output, the interpretation on how a human being is formulated, it have to be the same. Now, what happened? God said to you in your Bible, I am number one. I am number one. No one before me, no one after me. I am number one. What happened? Jesus Christ only had one chromosome, Y chromosome, from God the Father. Why? Unhuman. So that is a proof that God is not human. God is spiritual. He can decide to take a human form if he wants. So God only have one Y chromosome. One. That's so. One chromosome. God, one. People are going to say, does he making fun of it? One. Super consciousness. One. Now, Mary came with 23. She came with 23 pair. Okay? That's what Mary came with. And God came with one. Your parent, my father, have to come with 23 as well. Your father have to come with 23 for a normal human being. What they call normal. Yeah, normal, because all of us come like that. 22, 23. 23, 23. And the 23rd pair is what is used. The 23rd pair is used. And when the 23rd pair is used, it comes together as one pair. But because from the initial algorithm of life, their program, they metasize 23 pair each. It means they will formulate a 46 pair. When they metasize, they divide in two and they have 23 pair, 23 pair. That's one cell, another cell. And one cell do the same thing again and again and again. That's how your body forms in part. But because God only brought one pair, one chromosome, not one pair, one single Y chromosome, that chromosome will not multiply in 23 because his initial cell formulation is one. it will only replicate one for every single cell. But because ours come from a structure of 23, it have to metasize, replicate within 23. That's something that scientists didn't know. Or maybe for those, even them, they didn't realize it. This is something that comes from heaven. It's the wisdom from above. It means cell replicate according to the initial design. If the design is 1, it will only replicate 1. If the design was 23 pair, it will replicate 23 pair. That's how it is. And you cannot come up with that if you don't have comparison of two different things. It's called the data. Now, how do you end up with 24 with 24 chromosomes in every single cell? It means you have 23 chromosome X from the mother, and you have 1 from the father. 23 from the mother, 1 from the father, for every single cell. For a normal human being, you have 23 from the mother and 23 from the father if you are a man. Even if you are not, even if you are a woman, the X chromosome of your father will come to you. It means you're going to have 23 from the mother, 23 from the father for every single one of your cells. Because the initial state of your cell is 23 pair. It have to meet it. It's like an algorithm. That's how it is made. The bottle, it will make the same thing. The same thing. So because God only gave 1 Y chromosome, it make the same thing, it make another 1. So when that 1 went with the last chromosome of Mary, so one of the chromosome, which is 23rd pair, one of that went together. One chromosome, because she have to give it one of her X. So X came, and God gave 1 Y. So when the mitosis procedure started, the X chromosome of Mary replicate 23. It means replicate 46 chromosome in that new life. 46 in that new life. And the God-given Y replicate only 1. So it became 2Y, making it 48 chromosome. Now, when the mitosis happened, it divided in 2. That's another science. How do that divide in 2 when actually the algorithm of our life say it must be 46 pair, because it must be 46 pair. If it's 46 pair divided in 2, you have 46 chromosome over there and 46 chromosome here, will make it 23 pair. It means the X chromosome of your mother will multiply 46 times, and the Y 46 times. When it divides in 2, it becomes 23 pair each for each cells. But with Jesus Christ, that's not what happened. What happened is, when he hit 48 chromosome, Only, I'm not talking about per year. I'm talking about 48 chromosomes. It divided in two. It means 23 of the X of the mother and one Y went to one cell, and the other 23 of the mother went with the second replicated of the father God. It make it 24 chromosomes in the other cells, and those 24 do the same thing. The 23 chromosome replicate itself into 23, and the one chromosome of God replicate himself into one, and it divide again in two, and that's how the mitosis start to form your organs. So that's what happened. So how do the intelligence of the human body realize that? It means there is a software even more advanced than we ever know, that understood that cell came in its initial state as one. He only going to replicate as one. God have to design it from the other side. He have to change the way that the code that supervise the regulation of the reproduction function in a normal state, in order for that from happening. So Jesus Christ didn't have the same genetic syntax as us, but the semantic of his genetic syntax was the same, because the semantic have to say human being. And the human being has a specific code, genetic arrangement. It means God, who is the creator, the Y chromosome of God, have an intelligence that is above all genetic alphabet and syntax that ever existed, and that actually can synchronize with any human species. Any is synchronized, because it's so advanced and then it is actually composed of all the code that you can imagine and adhere into any medium. That's how our creator is. He is the creator. That's the proof that God is the one who created human being. And human being didn't come from any random phenomena. God created specifically human being, specifically. And he created animals specifically separate. And he created flowers specifically separate. Now, those species have communality and they have differences. The same thing when you see the planet. You're going to take some of the soil from one planet and another, that you're going to see some similarity and some differences. So Jesus Christ was looking like a human being. He was a human being, but his genetic code was different, but have the same meaning as your code. Is that amazing? How do something is different but have the same code? Animals have a different syntax, genetic code, that's all, but they look different though. They look different. That's the proof that God exists. Right there. You cannot deny that. Because animal and flowers, they have different genetic syntax, but they don't have the same genetic semantic. They are flowers, bird, animals, fruits, vegetable, not the same. But Jesus Christ, he have only 24 chromosomes per cell. We have 46. In order for you to be a human being, a normal one, you have to have 46 chromosomes per cell. It means 23 pair. 23 from the mother and 23 from the father. Either is the X that came from the father or is the Y. It doesn't matter. But he have 23 from the mother and 1 from the father. 1. Telling us that God have many ways. He could have made human being, but he chose this way because he's unique. He chose the way that we know, He chose the way that we know, because God is unique. His genetic code is the combination of all the code that you ever known and the even additional code that we don't know. That is how his code can complete what is unknown to us, because his code is superior to all code. He's the one who made us. It means he took one of his code and made a man. He took one of his code out of the Y chromosome. It means, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here, my friends. It's so amazing when I talk about these things. It means that when God placed that Y chromosome in there, that Y chromosome was already including the language that we have in the 23 chromosomes that come from the father. That is a proof that God is the one who created us. Because he took part of his code, his language, on his one Y chromosome and made us, and made man. And then from man, he made woman. What he did, he took the X chromosome from the man and replicated it in 2 to make a female. That's what he did. Because in order for him to make a male, he have to create a chromosome called X chromosome. So a man is a Y and X chromosome. God don't have an X chromosome. But the chromosome Y of God is superior to every chromosome you ever known and can synchronize with every species in every genetic language. That's what it is. Now, Jesus Christ is the Son of God, proving scientifically, and proving God is not a human being, proving God is the one who created us. Because science could not explain how a human being can have 24 chromosomes in every cell and be a human being like us. It means that Y chromosome have an intelligence that is more superior, way superior to any of our chromosomes that we ever known, in which the same language expressed by our similar 23 chromosome have. Because it has to be the same language in order for Jesus Christ to look like a human being, like us. It has to express the same language. It's like you're coding differently, but you have the same result. Who can do that? We don't even know the code, how to code to have a human being. You're coding differently for the same result. It's true, right? Microsoft have a different code. Okay? Mac have a different code. And any other software processor have different code. But they have the same result. It means computer. You can type, you can view your email, you can surf, same thing, but different code. But at the end, same kind of language. It only comes from those who have programmed that. I mean, God is the one who made human being. He's able to use different code to make a human being. Now, another part is that our Muslim brother, it is written in the Quran that Jesus Christ was made from a virgin, Mary. It is written in the Torah, the first 27 chapters of the Bible, that Jesus Christ will be coming. It is written. Now, the New Testament is telling you as well that Jesus Christ came from a virgin called Mary. Now, if those three major religions know for sure that he came from a female that was virgin, it's none. How do you believe? Who give the blood into the newborn? The mother don't give the blood into the newborn, into the new eggs. The father is the one who gave the blood. See, God is so intelligent that no one can claim the greatest in anything. The mother hold the newborn in her womb, but to have life to hold in your womb, you need the blood that comes from the sperm of the man. Only the men that give life into the newborn, because blood is life. Do you see that? So when certain women, with all the respect I have for them, they claim too many things above what they're supposed to claim, they don't understand. You cannot hold that child in your womb if it doesn't have any life. Blood only comes from the sperms. The spermatozoid that count, that are part of the sperm, have that biological software to generate the initiation of blood formulations to give life. So God placed life into his Y chromosome because God is a Y chromosomes being. So he placed life in the Y chromosome into man. It doesn't make man superior, it just different functions. Different functions. So you tell me, how do Mary got that life in her womb if already proving that he have 24 chromosomes? So that was not Joseph, that's for sure. That was not even another man, like people claim that she was a prostitute. We don't know the father. God, we don't know who was the father. The father was not a man, period, based on the 24 chromosome. There's not a man like that. So it can only be God. Now you tell me, how, if we know it is God, that's for sure, I already proven to you with the 24 chromosomes. in every cells on human. The Father, not human. Period. No discussion to that. It's proven scientifically. It's like you try to say 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2 in base 10. So it's a waste of time. You believe in it or you just crazy. That's all. So now we're moving forward. Now, how to all religions? How do you believe a life was formed into that wound of somebody who never been penetrated to have a life in her wound? If it was not from the super intelligence of God to bypass natural things. Nobody can discuss that. Jesus Christ is the Son of God in flesh, proven. And he is the Savior of all men, including the Jew, because his blood was split as a giving donation to the Father in the uncovering of the ark. So the festivity that happened, that it did on that Friday, happened during Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ was being crucified. So you discuss this with anyone, religious folks, they have no way to deny this, because scientifically it is already proven. It's not that I'm saying, well, I believe that. No. 23 chromosomes in every cell is not a normal human being. It is a supernatural being. And it is even impossible with our knowledge today. Why a 24 chromosome per cell is not an animal, is not a fruit, is a human being? How did that happen? If there's not a super intelligence that made it like that. Because as far as we know, the human being must have 46 chromosomes in every single cell to be a human being. Every single one of us have 46. When you don't have 46 chromosomes in your cell, you will have a disability somehow. So you tell me, how come Jesus Christ with 24 chromosomes in every cell, he didn't have any disability? Just normal human being. It means the Y chromosome of God overwrite the language of the leftover chromosome that's supposed to make a so-called normal human being. So God is the creator. He's the first. He proved it. Only one chromosome. Now, for a religion, you got to know Jesus Christ is the guy, is the one. In every single religion. And I want to say something to you. God don't have a problem with your religion. As long as you believe that Jesus Christ is the Savior. You can believe, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Hindu, you can be a Buddhist, anything. As long as you believe that Jesus Christ is the Savior, God have no business, no problem. He have no problem, because it is proven. It is proven. Now, for those who wanna to discuss these things, we are looking for satisfaction outside of what God is giving us, when actually the power is inside of us. People believe When I pray, God answer me. No, I invite Jesus Christ. Let me tell you the truth. I even made a a pact with Jesus Christ. I said, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna bother you. I will bother you. I will invite you every single time. He said, try me. And I know I can try him. He's a spiritual being. He can appear, even if you call Jesus Christ 100 times a day, he will show up. Something that a human being cannot do. But it's a bargain. I say, hey, I'm gonna do that. And they love that. They love challenge like this. I invite him. When I pray, I invite him. I invite him. Because I was able to build the power inside of me. The power was built. The power have attained the level in which my prayer reach the heaven in less than seconds with a vibrations that say, your boy is calling you again. I know. What can I do? I just have to go. That's what I do. And the heaven have a perfect rationality of justice. Jesus Christ, for every single one who call him, he have to be present. He doesn't gonna say, well, I don't have time. I have to be with the Father. Well, the advantage of being who they are is that he can be omnipresent. That's a good thing. He have that faculty. His spirit became one with God. It means he can speak as if he's God. That's why he speak. He said, I was there before you were even created. Because he speak as is the Father. He's the one who created all. Why? Because his spirit became one with God. When it happened in the spirit, you can speak as if it's God. The same thing with the Holy Spirit. He can speak as it's God because he is God in the beings, but different from God in the functions. In the function, that's all. Before Jesus Christ was even became the Jesus Christ after resurrection, he even said to the Pharisee, if the Father can forgive people, his Son can also forgive. He truly was the Son because his DNA proved it. And when you see that people have already discovered the DNA of Jesus Christ, you have to know that the second return is very soon, my friend. This is 50 years from now, 50 years, the max. There would be a build of the third temple. The third temple will be built. Like I mentioned before, when you're going to see that third temple being built, you have to know that Christ. You need to start counting. So you say, you know what? If you are not a follower of Christ, please, I'm advising you, start. It might be during the Trump administration, the build-up of it. I'm pretty sure it will be. I think they are already planning in place for that. There will be a price to pay for the building of the temple. What's going to happen is, God is so advanced. When I look and say, wow, this is something. In order to build the temple, they will propose peace in a region. It means they will ask the Jew, they have to divide Jerusalem, and what they're going to have as benefit as return is the building of the temple. That's what's gonna happen, and all gonna accept it because they want peace. So it's Jerusalem and West Jerusalem, and the temple will be built in the Jerusalem that will have that will be part of the Jew. That's how it will happen. That's why I look and say God is so advanced in things. It's unavoidable. Unavoidable. And those Jews will not care. They say, we don't care. We want peace. We want peace. And we're happy about the temple. They want the temple. So it will be built. And the price to pay for it, division of Jerusalem. So when you also see that, you have to know that, they'll come clever. It's just the way it is. There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay. That information I've told you doesn't come from my thought. It comes from the heaven. When the heaven says something, it is what's going to happen because it already happened in the spirit. It's done. It's only waiting for the right time to synchronize with earth time for that to happen here. It will happen. So when you see those things, you have to know that the time is getting closer. And that temple will be built exactly as God wanted it to be built. He gonna make sure that the thought of people are synchronized and vibrate according to the way it have to be built. People will be inspired on that. It's the way it have to be built. That's the way he gonna want it to be built. Come up with those things. So when you see that, you got to know that time is coming closer. And I believe that the building of that temple is going to happen during the Trump presidency. And Trump have 8 years. Many people don't believe that. I am telling you, he have 8 years. You want it or not. He's there for God's purpose, for what I just mentioned. So, as when you take care of God's business, you benefit for things. That's what it is. So, as a consequence, as a positive consequence, America can benefit from his gift he have with the economy. Just the way it is. You have to take care of God's business first. And God put you in position because he knows either you do evil or good, it's going to work in his favor in the long run. That's why God will appoint people in position. Either you do good or evil, it's going to work in God's favor in time. That's what it is. So people must know that. Now, we are seeing a change in people. We're seeing how people are disliking their way of life. They start looking closely and say, maybe this thing might be true. Maybe this thing might be true. Maybe this thing is real. God might be existing. Will me talk that I'm going to live this kind of I can tell you right now, with all the truth I have, I never thought I will pray and Jesus Christ's spirit will show up. I'm telling you, this is something new to me. But not new anymore. But it's new in the term that I never thought of this. And that's how God is. God will come with things that you never thought of. Because we are not God. And God don't want us to be God. God don't even want us to have too easy life. Life is so good, you know. Nah, he doesn't like that. He wants men to look short so that every time they can know that they are not God. So that's why God will allow the use of the devil to achieve some of his purpose. It is difficult for certain believer, but you have to know, in order for you to have good children, you're going to have to make decisions that will be painful to your heart so that you can achieve what you wanted to see tomorrow. So God will allow what he hates to achieve what he loves. You cannot have good children today and deny that you made tough decisions yesterday that sometimes made you, gave you pain in your heart. My father have to let us do retail under the sun for months because he knew it will help us tomorrow. But you should believe. You let your child go around a city, you don't even know if you're going to come back with all the danger that are out there. That was a tough decision. That's the same thing God is doing with us. He will allow the devil to do his work, dirty work, to achieve his purpose. So many of newborn Christians, they don't understand it. They think that when somebody's going into tough time or difficulties because he has seen all this crazy crap. No. God don't want you to be too comfortable. Because when you are too comfortable, you are likely to believe that you are even God. So he have to make sure that you come up short every single time. So that you can look and say, hey, I'm not as perfect as I think I am. So men will always point something bad about you. And that is God's work. You see, many believers, they don't understand. They think this is just a crappy game. No. Lucifer communicates with God. Not because he's a friend of God, but because God is the one who have all the power. In order for him, Lucifer, to do his work, he have to go to the one who have the power to have permission. Lucifer cannot just go like that and just do things. No, he have to go to God and ask permission. And he know some of the things he will ask, because Lucifer is clever. He tried to be clever with God. So he will come. Every time he will come to God, he will come to God in a sense that he want to put God in a corner. I mean, he used something that will go against God's will, against God's divinity. And he know God cannot touch it, cannot dirty his divinity. He will allow it, but in a degree in which it will not destroy his creation. He will come with something like this. Is that true that that boy called Gabriel and Daikon? That's Lucifer talking, because he's very good in those things. Is that true that that boy called Gabriel and Daikon believe in you? As we all know, you have declared that they are untouchable. They are the most powerful of humans. They are powerful than even us, if they have faith, isn't it? Everything I just say is true. It's even also in the Bible. So you play with Jesus, with Lucifer. And he said, well, if that's the case, I would like to test him. I would like to take his job away. I would like to make his finance short. I would like to take his health away from him. I would like to isolate him from people. He put stuff. And you know, God cannot deny that because God encrusted power in us. That's why even the Bible says he's clever. If God said to you that somebody's clever, the person is clever. So that's what he does. And God will accept most of them, but he will reduce the level according to how he made you. He will not accept the same strength and wrath of the devil in you the same way he does with other people. Those that are stronger, he will allow that from happening in that degree. Those who are not stronger, he will reduce it. That's how I do. We were born with the same, by the same God, but we don't have the same strength. God gave us those strengths according to the purpose in which he has bestowed in us. It doesn't make another man superior to another. It's just that it has to do with the mission and the purpose. The same as angels. There are angels that are stronger than others. You'll be surprised. Yes, they are. There are angels that are slower than others. The same as us. There are angels that are more powerful than others, like I mentioned. But Jesus Christ is powerful than all of them. But I'm telling you, there are angels that have that their hand can carry the entire earth like that with their hand. So when I talk about power thing, you have to understand it is in the dimension, not in our dimension here. It is in the dimension, not in our dimension here. Believe into God. Even if you're Jew, even if you're Muslim, you are a Christian. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, proven scientifically now. Back then, we were just talking about it like this, but now it is proven. He's the Son of God. And it's also proving his blood and crucifixion was a well-ordained and organized plan, ritualistic plan to save us. You have to know that our blood was infected. Our spirit was infected when the particle of Lucifer got changed from light into darkness. Darkness penetrates all human beings in the spirit. That's how we got infected. And if the spirit is infected, the flesh will be, because the spirit overrides and governs the regulation of the flesh. That's what happened. There's one thing God wants me to let you know. Many priests, many pastors, they still don't understand it. And I talk to them with all respect. Every time you open the Bible, you have to know it's God's word. And if you know it is God's word, you have to know it is written in a spiritual language. Something that many pastors, priests don't understand. If you know the Bible is God's word, you have to know it is written in a spiritual language. It means it addresses things in spiritual forms. It means in order for you to understand the Bible clearly, you must know how to translate what is written in spiritual language into a physical language, the interpretation of it. Because everything that you read in the Bible, meaning is not natural, it's spiritual. When God said to you, it is all giving, He's not saying that you have it physically. He's saying that it is giving spiritually. Now, the confusion that people have in their faith, in their religion, is that they are all mixed up with false teaching. It is given to you spiritually, but you have to get it. That is the problem, because Lucifer is in between. For somebody who's smart, it will not be easy to get it. Exactly. You got it. Now, who come in place? Jesus Christ. That's why many people cry. Why? Why? Because you don't understand. Everything is given in a spiritual world. But it is blocked because Lucifer is in between it. Now, you're going to ask why God just don't kill him. Why not just kill you too? Because you just made a sin against your neighbor. What about that? Why not just kill your loved one because they just killed something or they insult somebody? You see, it's not easy like that, isn't it? Why not God just kill all of us because we're all sinners? If you answer that question, then you're going to have the answer of that. Why He could not just kill Lucifer like that? Do you understand? Everything is in the spirit. Everything that you go to church, they declare, it is in the spirit. Now you have to get it. God knows He put in us spiritual means and powers to develop to get it. That's why many of us are confused. If you believe it is giving, well, excuse me, it's already giving. Now you believe so that you can have faith to go and get it. And if somebody going to say, well, how can I get it? You have to understand who you are. You are a human being, which means in spiritual language, you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you have a flesh. So develop your spiritual part so you can get it. That's what all this is all about. And Lucifer, he knows it will be tough for some, for many actually, to understand it. You pray, it's not coming. It's because it's there and it's blocked to enter your life. So it is a lesson that many pastors and preachers have to understand. When you open the Bible, it's the Word of God, yes. All of them will say yes. Who is God? Spirit. So it is written in what? Spiritual language. Even if you reading it in your language, even when you read it, sometimes it is written in a very crazy form of your language. Read it very clear. You will understand. It's like crevice, and the words are written in a kind of crazy ways. The meaning of that is spirituals. When God said, Jesus Christ said, this temple, it will not be far long. It will all be destroyed. He was talking about the future. It will be gone. And look, he said there will not even be a stone left. And it was all gone. Until today, not gone, nothing. So when you are making your prayer, you are in a start, because many of our believers are still kindergarten in the spirit. Develop it so that you can be able to claim what is yours in the spirit. Many people are abusing that spiritual side of our existence to overpower those who do not. Many even in politics, in spirit, in music, in movies, all these stars, they learn how to benefit from the spiritual thing that God has for us. Even if some of them don't use God, but it's still allowed by God, and they are who they are. And you are there, you're holding your Bible, keep praying, keep praying, keep praying, no action. So what to do? Prayer have to go along with faith. It means your faith have to be practical. I have to stand today and say and declare to the heaven, listen, heaven, I want more. Now I want to see angel appear when I pray. I want to see the people who wrote this Bible appear when I pray so they can explain that to me. They are there for it. They are there for it. If you can't also do this kind of challenge, you're not able to grow in the spirit. Because God gave us all those access. We can do that. It's in us. Why do many of us do not understand the Bible truly? You see people reading it, different interpretation, when actually you have only one truth attached to it. Yes, there are different meanings, but it is all one truth. But there are too many meanings. It's only three, he said. But there are two different. People read the same thing, but they interpret it like different meanings. It's because we try to interpret what is written, what the meaning translates in spirit, and we try to interpret the meaning in the natural realm, when actually the meaning is spiritual. That's the reason why many people come with different. And Jesus Christ is going to come and say, calm down all. And he give you the truth, and everybody's going to be looking like, what the heck? That's exactly what it is. But if you tap into the spirit, you understand that correctly. So when I listen to people who are preaching, sometimes I look at them and shake my head and say, oh man. Some of them interpret things too much naturally. But they claim, they say, yeah, this is the word of God. But God is not a human being. And God is the one who chose that Bible to be written like that. Because he wants you to put the spiritual thing first before you can get the material things. If you understand the spiritual things, by default, by positive consequences, you will understand the material things. Because the spiritual thing override what is material. He override it. You want to accept it or not. There is that intelligence that exists that is unknown to us. But that intelligence is alive in a dimension that interlock with our dimension. And that transcends can happen in between. Imagine everybody who live in heaven can take a human body, because it is like breathing for them. Because you cannot go and ask a person, how do you breathe? It's a natural process. It's the same way when they move from the heaven to here, they take a human form. It's like they're breathing. It's the same thing. It's something common in that world. It's very common. It's not even the most advanced technology. To be truthful to you guys, when you get to heaven, you understand it. You say, man, there was a guy talking about these things. You understand that the human technology that God ever made is something that exists over there. That He is the one who created that over there and educate people about it. It's like you go in here and study human biology, they can tell you all things about the human being. The same things. You go over there in heaven, in the medical school and stuff, they'll tell you about the spiritual level. All the part, how the software is made, the soul, and then the physical body. And how a person can move from a human physical form into the spiritual form. Their technique, the studies. Life is not white and black like you guys see. The future of nation can rely on how people are connected with the Divine Father. We should entrust people that we fear because of the belief in God. I know America is a big country, but with the faith I have reached, I see a lot of ignorances around. Disconnect to the true God, the one that I know, and believe in superficial God, imaginary God. You see, there was a story of a bird, like somebody mentioned. A bird mother, a eagle mother with her lot of children, eagle children, and they were in the lot nest, and there were the big eagle coming to pick, to prey on them, pick some of them and go and kill them and eat them. So when the mother of those small eagle saw the big eagle coming, she started protecting her children. But there was one who thought that he can make it by himself like that. So he started wasting time around. So by the time the mother tried to come, because she was picking up each one of them and put them in safety. So that one was still playing around and thinking that, and because he didn't know he was kids, the big eagle came and picked him up. He didn't even realize that he was actually kidnapped. And he was thinking it was a joke, like, okay, I can fly. Okay, I can fly now. I can fly. I'm good. Everything is good. He was curious. Now, the big eagle put him in his place and observe him and see if he gonna fly. Observe him and observe him and observe him. And as soon as he was ready to eat him, what the big eagle did, the big eagle destroyed his eyes first. An innocent kid, eagle. So the big eagle destroyed his eyes, both of his eyes. He could not see. So he was like this. And then the big eagle started eating him piece by piece. This was a glimpse that was given to a man of God. And Jesus Christ interpreted that dream like this. Many of us in this United States and the world, they can live a good life and they keep saying that God is with us. This blessing is from God. You can have a better life. It doesn't mean that God is with you. You can fly, be held by the devil. And because you don't know, you think that you're there. But you don't know what the devil will do. And God explained to him that that's how the devil functions. He take you, he give you things, you have the thing of the earth, you think that, oh, God is there, God is blessing. And the next time you know, the devil will blind your spiritual eyes. And then when your spiritual eyes is blinded, you cannot distinguish the truth from lies. You cannot distinguish between the true prophet and the false prophet because your spiritual eyes are blinded like that little eagle. Now, when you are blinded spiritually, it is not time for the devil to eat you up because you don't even know how to discern the truth from darkness. And that's how many of us have their life destroyed. Now you understand this. You can be flying, you can have everything in this earth, but it doesn't mean that you are with God. This earth in which we live is controlled by Lucifer. The reality is Luciferic. You have to be very careful. The system will never do things according to how the heaven is. They will do things in a way that you will always be against your oath, against your will, most of the time. So you have to realize it's not because everything is going well for you. God is there. Like that stolen little ego baby. They didn't know. And the reason why, because we don't know. We think we do. But in the big picture, we don't. We are exactly like that little ego. We go in life, we do things, I'm there, I have money now, I can do what I want, these things. Who are you to talk to me? I'm this and that. You don't know who I am. You don't know my title. You don't know my position. The same kind of thing. We flying. All we think we're there. The kingdom of darkness of this earth is riding us, making us think that we're there. And then the next time we know, we are blind. We don't even know who God is. You start seeing people, I don't believe in God anymore. You start talking to people like, man, this is not earth, man. Where's your God to come and help you? To give you money like I have money. Well, you might think because you're flying, you are with God. You might be walking according to the devil plan of this earth because he's the one who controls the reality of this earth. Even though that it goes according to God's plan as well. So we have to be careful. We are all blinded spiritually. Those who want to be accepted to be blinded, you have to dwell in Jesus Christ. Not dwell in religion, not dwell into this world. They dwell in Jesus Christ. If you don't dwell into Jesus Christ, your spiritual eyes will be blinded. You will not be able to discern the truth from darkness. And you will be left behind when Jesus Christ returns. And if you have not educated your generations from this, they're also going to be left behind. Some of you will be alive when Jesus Christ will return. In this specific time I'm giving 50 years. Time will fly. Things gonna happen fast. 50 years? We're living in the end days according to the heaven calendar. I'm not saying that according to the earth calendar. I say according to the heaven calendar. We're living in end days. So we must start teaching the ministry of the end days. The true ministry. The ministry in which every single person have to pray directly into God. Every single person must be able to invite God, Jesus Christ, and angels, any holy being, to come into the house, because we're going to need it. As time goes closer and closer, we're going to need all that. Things will not be better, my friend. I wish things are better, man. I wish that. But I cannot lie to you here when I know things will not be better. Things will get worse. I am not invoking things to be bad, but I have no word, no power into what was already written before I was even born. God made all this. It's God's plans. We must believe into God. His design is perfect. We can believe in our military. We can believe in our science, in our engineering, in our in our way of life. But that might as well be like that lot of ego stolen away from the truth. That ego stolen away from the person who created him or her, and making him think that he's flying, is ready to go by himself and fly. Make him think that he's alright, he's okay, and bring him into a corner where he could not fly anymore, and blind his spiritual eyes. And when the spiritual eyes is blinded, he could not even distinguish between the voice of God and the voice of darkness, the truth and the lies, evil and good. And that's how the devil have the window to destroy people. The next time you know, the soul is lost. It's cast into darkness, into hell. You give your life to Jesus Christ. That's where you have all the satisfactions. The business I have created, I told you from the first time, this business is belong to Christ and God and Jesus and the heaven. This business will succeed. And for the next 50 years, it will succeed. And success is not about being the wealthiest organization in the world. When I talk about succeed means I will be able to fulfill what was destined for this business. That's what I meant. I will be able to fulfill what was destined for this business. Because when I speak, that's what I'm saying to people. Sometimes we speak spiritually, people don't understand. When I say this, when I say this business will succeed, that is the spiritual language. It means I will be able to fulfill. You can see how the heaven around me is vibrating when I say that, because they know that's the truth. You You don't help people, or you don't claim to help people by prioritizing interest. Even if you can claim that that interest is not for you, you cannot prioritize interest at all. Prioritize the the deed of the heaven, what the heaven want from this. Because I say to you, this business will fulfill what the heaven have commended into the mission of this business. So when I talk about success, success is about achieving that mission. And the rest will be given to achieve that mission. We have to be honest with ourselves. Many of you, many of us, they come along. They are part of conspire plans to destroy other people, to destroy some of us. You want to be part of this word? You want to be part of this word by accepting what this word do? If you want to make a difference and work for the heaven, you have to be able to sacrifice yourself against the way of this word. It is the most difficult things many of us don't know how to deal with. But I know how to deal with it. Many people ask, how do Jesus Christ survive? Who made Jesus Christ what? What do this guy do? How does this guy keep going? Does he like women? Does he like men? Does he like young kid, girl, boy? I want to say something true to you today. I succeed because Jesus Christ is with me and his presence is here. You have to believe in that. If you don't believe in that, you're missing the entire point. And I say to you today that God have control of every single life here in this earth. I want you to go and read the definition of life into my website. That is the true definition of life. Because the things that are happening to you are like a circle of a repetition of similar things that happen in different ways so that you can grow into it. The previous one prepare you for the next one, and the next one prepare you for the next one. So that when that comes, you can say, I've seen it before. That is completely true. God have a partner for me, and when the right time will come, it will happen. You cannot say that you believe in God, and at the same time you said, time is so short, I just have to make kids because I cannot go on with my belief here anymore. I don't gonna get it. It is something that even the Bible have criticized as wrong. Abraham, Father Abraham, with all respect, did it. He was getting old, too old and old and old, And the pressure of the woman, the people around saying that you keep waiting on that God, on God, on God. Let's make baby with, choose any, woman there, and they choose that Egyptian, her servant, and they had Ishmael, who is what today? The father of all Arab. What is happening today there? A complete mess, with all the respect I have for all of them. And then what do God say to Ishmael? He said to Abraham, that boy will be a heck of a donkey. He will be chased by people like a woman is chased. It means there will be battle of war in his generations. That's what it meant. God said that when that Ishmael was still a kid. That's what you see today. That's what you see today. God's word, when God says something, it will happen. So, read the story very well. You understand what's happening today. Everything starts from Ishmael. Not this Sunni, she had, and all of these crazy other things, all generated from that. That word that God said. He told him, because you disobey me, that's what's going to happen. You have to be careful of rushing. Now you can say to me, so you didn't want the Arab to exist? Now God have a way for them. But the Bible, according to what the Bible is saying, that was not that way. And every time you come in and you don't follow God's ways, God's path, there's consequences. There's no choice for it. Because there's an order. When you try to divert God's order, there's consequence. God said, wait. Because it's not the right time. You put something there in between that was not supposed to be there, problems. So we have to know how to avoid temporary satisfaction, because temporary satisfaction can become permanent problems. Many of you don't understand that principle. Temporary satisfaction will lead into permanent problems. That's exactly what happened with Father Abraham. Temporary satisfaction. We need to have kids now. Okay, good. All right. Now we deal with the consequences for generations to generation into today. And into even the end, because that will play a big role at the end. You see, the father of nations, that's why you're going to play into the end. We have to be careful on how to judge other people's life. I, Gabriel and Titan, I am waiting for the right time. I am doing my best. I try everything you can imagine. It just don't work because it's not the right time. You have to wait. You don't know what God is counting on. Maybe God have given Gabriel and Icon 60 more years from today. You don't know. So God knows that with all those years, you will have what he have always desired to have. The Bible say, God cannot give you those years that you have lost in numbers, but he will give you the thing that you're supposed to have during those years you have lost. Trust me, man, pleasure is good at all times. You never have something where you have lost something back then and you have tried so hard that you say, well, why do this thing pass me in this age? When that same thing come in a later time, you are happy as hell and say, hey, it even came in the right time. God never make mistake. What you believe that's supposed to be a satisfaction of all level might come to be wrong. That it was not even the right satisfaction you have imagined. Because every time that God gonna bring you what you have always desired, it will come at the time where you will be more satisfied for that specific inquiry than any other time. Trust me. So I say to people, well, you meet people, the same kind of thing. They go and read the Bible. They don't understand that it was a story, like the story that we live in. People go around and say, man, you're getting older, man. You need to have kids now. You need to have family now. It's the same thing that was sent to Abraham. The same damn thing. Why do you think God wastes his time to write a Bible? Just for a book? God who created everything. That Bible was written for you. It's an example of what you're going to experience. And people keep reading the Bible, they don't understand it. It's just an example of what you're going to experience and what your generation is going to experience. Unfortunately, it is not a done deal book. It is a life in action book. It will be like that until Jesus Christ come and say, well, either it's rectified or something add. Nothing will be changed in it. Thing will be added to it. That's what it is. It is a living action book. Thing that happened there is happening to all of us now as I speak. People are going out of where you need to have kids now. You know, you already old, you need to form a family. You know, there's a girl over there, there's a girl. I said, man, what would you just have made in your head? You guys just understand. And when you're going to have problems, those same people are going to say, I don't know nothing. I'm not part of this. I didn't force you to make a decision. You made it by yourself. See, this word is just the way it is. They don't understand nothing. They open the Bible, they hold it, but they don't understand. They claim they do understand it. That's the answer to this. They don't understand it. Because those who understand the Bible function according to what is written there. Will I say that I'm waiting for God to give me a partner? No, I'm not. I'm actually fulfilling what is written in my heart. It means what I experience and what God has spoken will come to pass through my faith. I am doing my best. But when you do your best and you run short, it means it was not God's desire. Then you have to wait. So when I say I'm not, I mean I'm doing my best. But when it's not God's desire, it's not God's desire. It means it's not the time. So you have to wait on God to give you the good one. So to answer that question, no, I am waiting for God to give the good one. Because good one is difficult to get. There are too many out there. Crazy. They will come and claim, oh, I know God. I know. When God gonna, I say, take your job away, give you a form of a sickness, but you know who she is or who he is. The next time you're gonna know, well, I wanted to go and visit my family. She's never gonna come back, or he never gonna come back. That's how you know. Well, not all of them, but the majority. A good partner only come through God. I say good partner only come from God. A good partner is only given by God, from, through, and by God. Only good one. You as a man do not have the caliber to determine who is good or not good. You can see that with your spiritual, with your physical, sinful satisfaction. She look good, she'll be good in bed and all this kissing, all these things. That's the first thing that come. Or he will be a good man, all these things. Well, the point is, God is not looking that. He's looking the heart. And he's looking the future. Do that person is part of you already? The way God made you? How do this gonna work into God fulfillment? That's what God look. To determine the good one for you. Now, God also talk about women who don't want to know how to cook. It's a question that I asked to God, and he came up with something that is so advanced that it's gonna blow your head. Okay? Now, this is what Jesus Christ said. How come a woman, or even a man, but mostly a woman, because you're the one who, you're gonna understand what I mean. How come a woman can see herself not to know how to cook when she's the one that God have given the responsibility of carrying baby's life in her belly? How is she going to feed those kids? That's the answer. You have your answer. Jesus always asks a question by answering. So for those out there who don't know how to cook, especially women, in a culture where they don't cultivate women how to cook, is a big mistake. Because if God have given you a wound to carry a baby, you have to know how to cook so you can feed that baby and raise that baby. So cook for a woman should not even be an option. For a man, maybe. Would that be a privilege and a curse? Is not. There's a responsibility for everything with God. See, God came up with that analogy and it makes sense even to any person. You are the one who carry the baby, and the baby is more connected to you. So how are you going to feed him? Well, people are going to say, well, Burger King is there. You have to know those things don't have the natural food, the natural ingredients that God have in the natural foods. Natural foods are necessary for the growth of newborns. Science prove it. You're gonna have your kid tomorrow, the hormone gonna be mixed up, and you're gonna be like, how did God give me that kind of kid? God have nothing to do with it. The environment and the way you raise him have to do a lot with it. So my advice for many people who have kids, teach your daughters how to cook. Well, if you want them to have family tomorrow. So Jesus Christ also came and said, what a man will benefit, or a person will benefit, by having the entire world. In today's society, people are putting family after their professional endeavor and enterprise, which is a very big mistake, because the Bible don't talk about the profession of Adam or the profession of Eve. You don't see that in the Genesis. You believe that you're too advanced at God? What do God didn't mention about the profession of Adam and profession of Eve? So why are we coming in our society and we prioritizing profession before family? Well, I don't want to have kids now. I wanted to have this first, Let me tell you what the heavens say, Jesus Christ specifically. Kids are a blessing from above. It is a very complex procedure. It's not as simple as you see it. It is a very complex procedure. If God starts explaining that to you, you will become a sister in a church. Completely. In a second that follow, God briefing in that subject. You become a sister in a church. Completely. The process is very complex. If God explained that to you, you will be like, what the heck? They are angels. Thousands and millions of angels that are holding, rounding life like this. That's all they do. So you who are watching this video, before you were even born, the angel that were holding your life like this in heaven, for your mother to carry you around for 9 months without any accident and nothing, you came out right because that angel like this. That is position. And there are millions of them in heaven. Now, when people come in this earth and they say, well, I don't want to have baby now. You are saying that you are your own God. You're going to have baby when you want. You say that you're going to school. Maybe school is making you be more blind and more stupid. See, that's why the Pharisee, after they study everything they have studied, they came and said, after I have encountered Jesus Christ, I realized that I know nothing. With all the school that we're going, at the end, we will come up into the conclusion that we know nothing. There was a philosopher called Socrates. He said, the only thing I know is that I know nothing. What do that say into Christianity, into the teaching that Jesus Christ was saying to people is that we are still in the verge of learning because we truly don't know anything. We think we do. And just by thinking we do, that's another part of our ignorance. Because somebody who don't know anything, think that he knows, is another expression of his ignorance into the matter. That's truly double crazy. You don't. Why do you believe that the Bible calls us a sheep? What is sheep? Sheep is the dumbest animal God have ever created. Why do God put it there in the Bible? Because we are sheep. We don't know anything in the big picture. So you come in this life, you say, well, I want to do, you become your God. And the time that you're going to want to have baby, God also going to say, I don't want you to have baby now. Is that what you said earlier? And you see people miserable, become hateful, and they don't understand and say, I am sorry, God, for what I did. Said, be careful. Even those who are committing abortion, that is a complete crime. A complete crime. It is one of the highest crime in heaven. I say highest of the highest. When you declare as a woman or as a man, I don't want to have baby now, I think you're becoming your own God. So you're saying to God, the plan that you have for me, for this specific subject, please don't do it now. I don't want it now. I want it when my time comes. Me, as God, me, right here. That's exactly what you're saying. Now, God will say, no problem. When the time comes for you to have baby. God going to respond back to you. You see, this earth is like this. You send the ball and the ball come back to you. That's exactly, and then God have nothing to do with it. He going to stay with his spirit. It is exactly what you said. I have nothing to do with it. It will come back to you. I don't have time now to make baby. That's exactly what's going to happen. You have nothing to do with God. You have to do with the way he put this word. It means at the end, he's always the one who wins. So what you say is coming back to you. I'm sorry, I don't want to make baby now. Is that something that is familiar to you? You said it a couple years ago, isn't it? So be it. Until you start praying to God and cry like a baby, you don't want to have kids. Woman or female, it doesn't matter. So for you who think they have said something like that, you have to be able to start praying and start asking for forgiveness, because this is a very important thing for God. Very important things. You will say, well, you saying that in rape it's okay to have kids? You saying that in situation that are evil, it is okay to have kids? You saying that it is okay to have a kid that is disabled? God will answer to you, a life is a life. It doesn't matter how it penetrates this universe. A life is a life. That's why Jesus will come in place to forgive. Do I am okay with rape? No. But will I allow a kid to come from it? Yes. You see, kids are a blessing from God. And when it comes to evil thing, people switches and say, no, it cannot be God. The devil don't give kid. Evil may have happened, but the one who gives kid is God. Now, God is using evil to do the intended good from the beginning. He can use evil for good, or the intended evil for good. Forgiveness is not as easy as people think. But the same people are reading the Bible and they're saying, when Jesus Christ was trying to die, he said, Father, forgive them, but they know not what they do. Now, the Bible is a living action book. It is revealing your life. Now, it comes right back to you. Somebody did something wrong to you that is so painful, and Jesus Christ is asking you to do the same thing. That's exactly why he came on earth to do. Remember when Jesus Christ was saying, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they do. The guy was finished. I mean, he was beating, he was finished. I mean, pain was, I don't even know how to call the state in which he was. It was above pain. I mean, the certain way that you never be in a situation where pain is not anymore pain. Where pain, you don't feel any more pain. The same way that is, even when pain comes, you start laughing. That's the state in which Jesus Christ was. But he was able to say, forgive them, they don't know what to do. And people who have situations like that, they cannot. In no occasion, don't ever say Jesus Christ was okay with it. He was not. You have your own imagination in your head and you rejected the truth. Forgiveness is painful. If you forgive and you have no pain in your heart, let me tell you the truth, it was not a forgiveness. It was something else. True forgiveness, your heart gonna be painful like that. You're gonna feel something in you such a way that you have to hurt somebody. That is called true forgiveness. Because somebody have hurt you so bad. Like Jesus Christ was hurt. And he said, forgive them, they don't know what to do. Exactly. That person who did what he did, he know what he was doing. Because he was under the power, the influence of demons. And he did what he did. But God still allowed a baby to come through because it's God who give life. It's God who allow baby to come through, not the devil. So God will allow evil to achieve his purpose. And he come back to say, God will allow what he hate, exactly what you're complaining for, to achieve what he love, what you'll be pleased to see if you walk according to God's standard. This is exactly what it is. People must learn how to forgive. That forgiveness is painful in the heart. It is so painful. That's what forgiveness is. It is not, yeah, I forgive you. Yeah, no. When somebody forgive, he will say to people, please leave me alone. Go away. So he can resolve it within himself. He can put that energy somewhere. That's true forgiveness. It is something people, maybe they wanted Jesus Christ to say, I am so painful, but I still forgive. He didn't have to say that. You already knew that he was in pain when he said, Father, forgive them, they don't know what to do. He even had difficulty of saying it because the way he was beating. I mean, he had that throw that they put in his head with nail on it, with pointed item on it that penetrate his head. I mean, beating. He was finished. It's painful. Forgiveness. If you don't feel your heart beating like when you say forgive, I will forgive that person. Nah, you have not forgiven it. You're still holding it. You know one lie to you. And when you get to heaven, God gonna say, I can't get you in here because you still have that stone in your heart. See that stone right there? It's because you have not forgiven. That's why it's there. Because in our spirit, every time that we don't forgive, a stone stay there. So there's no lie. God gonna say, look yourself. You look, you're gonna see that it's like a weight. So you can't say God is imagining. No, it's there. I didn't put it there. I created you with algorithm. When you don't forgive, something stay as a biomarker of proof. I'm telling you things in advance, my friend. So forgive if you want to get into God's kingdom. That's what it is. Don't go to church and fake stuff. Jesus Christ said, don't dwell in religion, dwell in me. Don't dwell in this world. You have to dwell into God. You see, I'm talking about science. I put God first. I'm talking about advanced physical mathematics. I put God first because He's the one who created all these things. The only thing I know is that I only know what he wants me to know. We only know what God wants us to know. Many of us think that we just so creative. No, we are not. We only know what God wants us to know. And when the time will come, you will know what God have done to me, what Gabriel and Daikon was created to do. Time is coming. Time is coming. That's why I will start praying to heal people. I will start praying to do physical wonder. And I will say to you, no one judge me. You must take and say, well, if you can help people, if you can pray for people, why not you pray for yourself? No, everybody have a mission. When a doctor want to operate himself, if a doctor have a surgery, he doesn't do it by himself unless he's crazy or unless he's a criminal. He goes see another doctor, another surgeon. All right? That's the way it works. So don't come and say to the doctor, if you have a surgery, why not you do surgery in yourself? That's pretty much what you're saying to me. And my surgeon is God. That's what it is. My surgeon is Jesus Christ. My surgeon is the Holy Spirit. So when something's wrong, I go see them and then I do what I do to help other people. So God can work in those people through me. So I say I will start praying to do wonder. I will start praying to heal people, praying for things that will happen. But that time will come. But will I be a prophet? No, I don't want that. I will be a scientist working for people, doing my public health stuff, my environmental health stuff, my scientific research, and in the meantime, doing the work of God. That's why. That's what I was created for. That's it. Because we're moving in a different way of teaching to prepare people for the end days. That's what it is. That's what all this is all about. Now Jesus Christ is saying, that's good enough. I've said everything they wanted me to say. Now, I would like you to visit my website, www.njohmedfoundit.net or www.charitymedfoundit.org. You can also get me on Facebook, and you can get me on MySpace, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, Instagram, Pinterest, and many other social media that you know. I would like to pray for our president, Donald Trump, and pray for him. And the guy neglect me. They think that I'm just another fakers. No, we are the true people. We are the true people. I put a bet for Donald Trump. I said, Donald Trump, you come, I pray, you will see by yourself, like this. Not what people are talking about. I am like that around you. You ask your people to put camera around so that you can see what is around. You will see angel only in that room for me. Specifically, they don't know fear. They will be there. They know that your technology cannot grab them. There's nothing you can do. So just to prove that I am not a faker, I am the truth. God will use ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. That's what He's been doing. The Bible is full of those stories. I'm not the first, and I will not be the last. Just people to believe. That's what it is. I have many people who depend on me. Many people. The day will come where I will free them from the bondage, the spiritual bondage in which they have been stuck into. They have been freezing spiritually. Say psyche war has been declared on them and all locked down. They are under control. The time will come where they will all be free in the mind. They'll all be free and be able to fulfill what was destined for them and for the nations. You know, the time will come for it. It's not time yet. So thank you very much. May God bless everybody. And God keep giving a good life to everyone to follow and to listen. I do long videos because it is how it is with God. You don't see any person talking about God with only 1 hour. It's 1 hour and something. I would like you an example. Go listen to Sadhu Sundar. 2 hours. Sometimes 1 hour, most of the time 2 hours. You don't go and see God and say, God, please do quick. I have to go do a job, $35, $10 an hour. God will take care of you. Those things are not necessary if God is first. Thank you very much. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. À bientôt. Et on se parle la prochaine fois. Dieu aidant. Dieu aidant. Nous serons vivants et nous allons évoluer dans ce concierge spirituel qui nous amènera dans la voie de la vérité. Thank you very much, and I hope that the God of the heaven bless every single one of you to get into this video and retrieve vital information that are necessary for the progress of humanity. Thank you once more. Time.